I want to get back to my take, top of the hour, bring in Karl Rove. Karl, welcome back to the program. I say that the Republicans have, they got a real problem on their hands here because they are not a united party. And implicitly, at the top of the hour, I was blaming the Freedom Caucus. Where do you stand on this?
I agree. They started out by attacking this, saying Obamacare light. In fact, one of their leaders said it does nothing to remove the exchanges, nothing to remove the taxes. That was completely untrue. And from then on, it was error after error, intransigence after intransigence. And at the end, they let the perfect be the enemy of the good and stop the process.
Well,
much to the disadvantage of, well, that's the case. I mean, you can't bring this issue back up. So much damage has been done. Yep. Now they got to move on to tax cuts, but there's a deep concern that once again the Freedom Caucus will be insisting upon the perfect. This probably means that we'll have a skinnier tax cut, maybe focused on corporate side, maybe with an individual side, but the idea of robust, thoroughgoing reform is unlikely to happen in this bill.
Now the president is supposed to be reaching out to Democrats for tax reform. I just can't see which taxes any Democrat would actually get behind in cutting, which means if the president doesn't get help from the left, he's got to go back to his own party and knock some heads together, because you've got to have tax reform, otherwise the entire presidency, the growth agenda, is toast.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you except for one thing, knocking heads. I don't think it was constructive when Steve Bannon got the Freedom Caucus in and said, you've got no alternative but to vote for this. Now, that may be true, but people don't like to be reminded of it. The president is better if he is the guy dispensing honey than the guy who's cracking the whip. So the people who now are going to have to, in essence, say to the Freedom Caucus, you guys have got to be rational and reasonable, and we got to get something done. Those have got to be their colleagues. It's more important that a junior member say to a fellow Freedom Caucus member, you put me in a bad place back home by making our party look like it couldn't govern. That's more powerful than the President of the United States. He better be the guy who's dispensing a little bit of honey and rely upon the members of the House to say to their colleagues, don't do this to us again.
Let me restate my premise and see if you agree with me. The mess last Friday means that tax reform will be either delayed and or watered down. What say you?
Well, I think it's more likely to be watered down. I've always been of the opinion that it's likely to take longer than we've been talking about publicly. It's just, first of all, you've got to do it through reconciliation, which means it's going to take until September, October to feed it through that next reconciliation bill. So I've always thought it was going to take a long time, but I think that this is the more practical effect is going to be that it's going to skinny it down and not be as robust as we need. All
right, Karl, we appreciate you being with us. Thank you very much indeed. Karl Rove. Yes, sir.
You bet. Sorry, won't be calling wrestling matches in China like Layfield, man. I mean, that was very impressive. Very impressive.
It was a diversion for us, but you don't speak Mandarin. I don't think you do you?
Oh, no, wow.
Do you? Do you speak Mandarin?
No. No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Of course not.
Okay. Thank you, Karl. We'll see you soon.